Beloved place, silver shines, the world dines, a smile on each face. As joy surrounds, come through the bounds, and I can feel them breaking free. For just this moment lost in time, I am finally me. Yet still I hide behind this mask that I have become. My blackened heart, scorched by flames, a force I can't run from. I look to you like a red rose, seeking the sun, no matter where it goes. I long to stay where the light dwells, to guard against the cold that I know so well.
Welcome everyone, my name is Zero. We are here with a new playthrough. Yeah, I know I'm torturing myself by constantly doing these, but we need some variety here and there between all the other games that we play. So what we're going to be doing is we are going to be taking on Fire Emblem Three Houses. Now Fire Emblem Three Houses is unique in a sense, because, as the name suggests, there are three houses in which you go through where you're going to have slightly different variations in the first half, and in the second half it's going to be the real changes where each route definitely splits, with even one route having its own separate unique mechanic, so to speak. I have beaten the game 3 times over. You see the playthroughs. 1, 2, 3. The first part with Crimson Flower came out about as soon as the game came out. Verdant Wind took a couple more months afterwards, and Azure Moon, I kid you not, took like a year and a half, because at that point I was feeling the burnout. So over 3 years I basically done a playthrough of each of these. And Three Hopes is out, and I'll get to that eventually. Probably like a year from now, think about it. But I also want to do everything else. As you can see, we don't have anything for the side story, because there was DLC for this game when it initially came out. Well, not when it initially came out, but about a year and a half when it came out. I was already well into Verdant Winds in the second half, so therefore I couldn't do it. As you can see, I've done I've pretty much done Classic all the way through. I've appreciated the change that we've gotten to Classic, but it's time to start a new game. But we will be doing a New Game Plus file, mainly because I don't want to do all the grinding and raising everything up. But we'll be going over the facts and everything when it comes to it. So, starting New Game Plus, you can carry over your endgame data over into a New Game Plus. Endgame data and New Game Plus saves are indicated by a Sophist mark. In New Game Plus, you retain your renown and higher battalions, as well as your shop and saint statue levels. We'll get into that later. You can also use your journal to spend your renown points to unlock professor levels, support levels, skill levels, combat arts, and abilities gained from mastering classes that you locked in your previous cleared game save. Use the unit appearance option in your journal to choose your unit's look from options such as their monastery uniforms or war attire. Yeah, the second half, part 2. Profile portraits and voices will not change though. Additionally, you may receive items containing crest powers based on the choices you made in your clear game save. Use your journal to spend renown points to unlock any crest items you do not already possess. If you have any Fire Emblem character amiibo, try scanning them in Amiibo Gazebo in Monster. Who knows when it may happen. Here's the thing. I had an original one, a Robin, and my mom threw it away because she thought it was a McDonald's toy. Yeah, I'm never going to let her over that. But that was like years ago when this first came out. Would you like to carry over your data from the end of the game to create a New Game Plus file? Yes. And we'll be using the one from Azure Moon, because that's our most recent one. And the way you see these are basically the way we're going to go in it. We're going to do Crimson Flower, then Verdant Wind, and then Azure Moon. We're doing Crimson Flower first because Crimson Flower is the shortest. Like, it's actually the shortest one, as you can see by the chapter count. We will not be doing Maddening. Screw Maddening. If I get enough views, or if enough people beg me to do Maddening, I will. But do know, I will be suffering. But we will be doing Hard Mode. Because really the only problem from Hard Mode, in my experience, is that it's the common enemies you have to watch out for, not the bosses or anything. Bosses are actually surprisingly easy to deal with. Anyways, we're going to do Hard, we're going to do Classic, and we'll be playing online, I suppose. If it pops up, if it asks me to change, I'll do that later. Yeah, whatever. But, ladies and gentlemen, we will be throwing into this.
Do you recall the Red Canyon? You'll die. 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 You took everything that I loved. He's gone now, Mother.
Oh my. What could have brought you here? I wonder how you got in here.
I have no idea. But that cutscene was amazing
Rude
and
to
horrifying.
interrupt a moment of repose. Very rude indeed.
Excuse me,
What
what?
happened to me? I wish to have a look at you.
And here we go. We have our two forms of Byleth because it's not a recent Fire Emblem game without being able to choose the form of your avatar. Now, unlike Fate's Awakening, Fate's End Awakening, you don't really get that much customization of the main character, Byleth here. You have female Byleth and male Byleth. Take a guess as which one's more popular and which one gets used more often. But we're going with male Byleth because, well, I'm a dude. Is this form correct? Yes. Why wouldn't it be?
I have not seen the likes of you before. Who are you anyway?
As funny as some of these options are, I'm a ghost, I'm a demon, you want to go with I'm immortal. Just, if you want extra flavor text, I'll probably do that when we get to Verdant Wind, or funny thing, I'll probably do it when I get to Azure Moon. But we're just going to go with mortal, because that's what we are at the end of the day.
I see. Then you must have a name of sorts. Go on.
And bam, you get to throw in your default name. As you see, default name of our avatar is Byleth. And we're just going to leave that for the playthrough. Might as well. You already saw what we had earlier for the names, but just go with Byleth. Is Byleth correct? Sure.
I shall not ever grow accustomed to the sound of human names. You must possess a day of birth as well. Beneath which moon and on what day were you born to this world?
They just go with it, but they have the same calendar, so to speak, 12 months, same amount of days, but for them, they're just different names. Guardian Moon, Pegasus Moon, Lone Moon, Great Tree, Harpstring, Garland, Blue Sea, Verdant Rain, Horsebow, Wyvern, Red Wolf, and the Red Wolf one just sounds awesome, but we're going to go with Lone Moon and the 13th. Yes! That is correct.
Wow, wonders never cease. It seems we share our day of birth. How strange. It all feels so familiar. I think it may be time for yet another nap. It is almost time to begin.
Interesting. Peculiar. It's always kind of strange. It's like, oh, we have a voice in our head.
Time to wake up. Were you having that dream again?
And I'll be honest, there's really not much difference between your answers. Like, you really don't get a whole lot. It's not like you go change something drastic with your answers. But the most we had a dream about the war, then we had a dream about a young girl, but that one looks like it'll put me on the FBI's hit list. So let's just say about the war.
Massive armies clashing on a vast field, right? There hasn't been a battle like that in over 3 centuries. In any case, just put that out of your mind for now. The battlefield is no place for idle thoughts. Risking your life is part of the job for mercenaries like us. Letting your mind wander is a sure way to get yourself killed.
Fair enough.
Okay, time to get moving. Our next job is in the kingdom. I told you before, it's far from here, so we'll need to leave at dawn.
Leave at dawn? Of course. It's like, oh, right, makes it sound like, oh, right. Of course makes it sound like they're more professional, which you expect from someone like Byleth, who's been a mercenary part of this company.
Oh, good grief. Everyone is already waiting for us outside.
Gerald, sir, sorry to barge in, but your presence is needed.
What's happened?
Please forgive our intrusion. We wouldn't bother you with a situation not dire.
What do a bunch of kids like you want at this hour?
We're being pursued by a group of bandits. I can only hope that you will be so kind as to lend your support.
Bandits? Here?
It's true. They attacked us while we were at rest in our camp.
We've been separated from our companions and we're outnumbered. They're after our lives, not to mention our gold.
I'm impressed you're staying so calm considering the situation. Wait, that uniform.
Bandits spotted just outside the village. Damn, there are a lot of them.
I guess they followed you all the way here. We can't abandon this village now. Come on, let's move. Hope you're ready.
You ready for a tutorial mission? But for real though, we have our different files and we're just gonna go with file 1 and start the prologue of an inevitable encounter. And this mission is... it's your starting mission, so expect of it as much as you will. It's going to be difficult. I'm just gonna say that. Well, not that difficult. Most hard mode chapters starting at the beginning aren't that hard. But you never know.
Let's take care of those thieves before they overrun the village.
Okay.
Enemies in front first. That should take the wind out of their sails.
And they just go over the basic amounts. Movement, you select the unit, then move it. You select it, move it, and use it to move it next to an enemy. While your unit is next to an enemy, the command windows will open. To attack, select the attack command and choose a weapon. So, you can do this, but I would suggest being a bit careful with how you do this. Because depending on what mode you're playing, it affects the enemy stats, how strong they are, what weapons they get, so on and so forth. Like, heck, you can even go to those, like, look at different ones. Strength affects your, physical attacks, i.e. every weapon pretty much in the game with some exceptions. Then you have things like magic, magical attacks, fire, electricity, a few exceptions. Dexterity affects your hit rate and critical rates. How often you get them, I should say. Speed affects your avoidance. Luck has various effects. So luck can be like how often you can avoid. Like say if you have very high luck and very high speed, you theoretically can avoid like a 98% hit rate. Defense, how much damage you take from physical attacks. Resistance, how much damage you take from magic. And charisma is actually kind of new, I believe. At least through the games I played, because I only played Awakening, Echoes, and Fates. Charisma wasn't a stat. You just had 1, 2, 3, 4, like these stats right here. Luck, defense, res, strike magic, dexterity, and speed, stuff like that. I think it was called skill. But we have our different weapons. We have axes, swords, lances, and bows as the default ones we have. We're going to use bows right away because you can attack from two up to larger range depending on what class you are. Bows can attack from long range, although their hit rate is reduced as range increases. They are highly effective against flyers like Pegasus Knights and Wyvern Riders.
Ready and willing.
Let's go. But first, hey, let's talk to Byleth right here. Why don't we?
It's because of you guys that I'm not dead right now. Thanks for that. I didn't expect to run into mercenaries like you in some remote village. The gods of fortune must be smiling on me.
And since we initiated a talk conversation, basically anytime you initiate an action after you move, you're not allowed to move from that spot. So you kind of have to stay where you're at. But we're going to use a combat art, which has been introduced, I believe, since Echoes, and they're a replacement for skills. They use your weapon's durability. So if you use Curve Shot, it has what does it have right here? Bow attack with a high hit. It gives you plus 30 hit. So let's do this. And it will use up 3 of your Iron Bow's durability. So I'll go from 40 down to 37. But we'll do right here a Curve Shot. And there's very little chance that the thief will actually dodge this attack. So we're good there. And weapon durability. A weapon will break when repeated use brings its durability to 0. You can fight with broken weapons, but your might and hit rate will be reduced. Enemies will make follow-up attacks more easily. Be careful with your weapons. You cannot repair them mid-battle. So yeah, you basically whenever you want to go into battle, you want to make sure your weapons are at either max durability, pretty high, or having multiple weapons. But let's throw in Byleth because Byleth's the main character, and therefore we got to level up with them. Side note, When the game first came out, Violet had a different voice actor than what they have now. I believe it's due to a controversy that happened with the voice actor. I don't remember what it was. I'll probably put it here. But, yeah, that happened. Battle menu. You can create bookmark saves, view tutorial guides, and more. To access it, press the A button without an active unit. And once you're done with, you'll move into different battle phases. Once all units have taken action, the player phase ends, the enemy phase begins. You can end the player phase early by selecting End from the battle menu. And if you press the ZR button, you can bring up where your enemy can move. I.e., this is about where they can add, which is when you're not in the pink area, you're safe basically. And you could go all the way and look to where different enemies are. Case in point, you could go to the boss right here, Costas. And you can press A on your enemies to show where their effective range is. So, Costas has a pretty big range, be able to go right here, but we're pretty good. So we'll just throw in Dimitri, right there,
I will prevail.
and Edelgard. And as you see, Geralt did not move. That's because Geralt is an ally.
We'll advance while protecting ourselves from the enemy. Take up position inside the forest.
Terrain effects. Certain terrains will have effects on the unit occupying it. Forests, for instance, raise the unit's evasion and defense. Move your units to an advantageous position and prepare to meet the enemy. You can do this depending on certain things. Like, forests obviously lower how well the enemy can reach you and hit you, but certain units can't take advantage of the terrain. Case in point, flying units cannot take advantage of terrain like forests. See, right here, defensive terrain for all except for flyers. And forest, lower your movement. So say if you have a movement of 4 or 5, trying to go through a forest will actually lower your movement. But anyways, let's take Edelgard and talk to Violet, see what they have to say.
You have a strange aura about you. You say you're a mercenary, so show me what you can do.
Yes, good. If we're in the forest, we can sustain their attacks without losing the advantage.
And again, they're going over different terrain types, and keep an eye out. And you can see what effects they have. But anyways, we're gonna wait and pray that someone like Edelgard doesn't get hit. But as you can see, their stats are very, I say high, but trust me when I say the stats in this game can get absolutely freaking ridiculous if you really go out of your way to try and make them cracked out of your freaking mind. Anyways, as you can see, Edelgard hits hard. As you can see, she does 16 and almost one-shots the enemy. And you have to be careful about who's fighting who, because different enemies.
It's a fine opportunity. Use the combat arts I taught you.
Going over combat arts, basically every way they did, but they don't allow follow-up attacks. Units learn new combat arts when their weapon skill level goes up. There are no combat arts for reason or faith. Those skills grant magic instead. So yeah, if you want to say go for a magical character, they are going to get combat arts for the same way like a lance, an axe, or a sword does, but they'll get different skills. Anyways though, let's go right here and take at least attack this enemy right here. And we dodge with good evasion, take Dimitri, use the Iron Lance, and take out the enemy right here. Bam. Easy.
You never had a chance.
Easy. It really is. We're going to take Claude and attack with the Iron Bow. And you can hold up A to speed up the animations, which I'll primarily be doing. Otherwise, battles take freaking forever. We're going to keep Edelgard in the forest, so that way she can just hide out. And you'll look at this with the weapons. Certain weapons have advantages over each other. Case in point, a sword has an advantage over an axe. But an axe has an advantage over a lance, and a lance has an advantage over a sword. In Fates, they had this weird triangle system where they made every weapon go into a certain category, but they don't have it in this game. Just like the primary weapons that you typically use. Let's take Dimitri and have him talk to Violet.
Thank you. We are in your debt. It wouldn't do for us to fall in a place like this. Please, lend us your strength. Let's work together to drive out these thieves.
Okay. And we have luminaries. Luminaries are one of your healing items, and they are just items that you can use within battle. But you can't use them, obviously, because guess what? You need to recover HP, but Claude doesn't need it, so therefore we're good. And we're just gonna slowly make our way over to the boss.
Why are there mercenaries in the village? Guess we'll have to deal with them too.
Good lord, the enemies in JRPGs and RPGs in general, like, man, the cojones on them, it's ridiculous. It's like, oh, it's like going up to a random...
Attack when an ally is nearby, and the enemy will be intimidated, making them easier to hit.
You have linked attacks. When you attack an enemy nearby, there's also... If you attack an enemy that's also in range of one or more of your other units, you will trigger a linked attack. For your linked attack, your avoid rate and hit rate are higher than normal. Linked attacks are between certain units that will also raise might. Good use of linked attacks is key to defeating powerful enemies. Linked attacks will also build supports among the units involved. And then you also have item drops. As you saw with the boss, they're indicated by a green green enveloping their name, and they'll drop them when they are defeated. Case in point, Kostas here has an iron axe equipped, so if we defeat him, he will drop it. We are still at max health with Byleth, so we are good. That character has an axe, so we'll just keep everyone out of the way except for Byleth, who will stay in the forest. That way we can get a boost to our defense. And go right here and wait for Claude.
Hey! You with the blank stare! Out of my way!
Oh, good lord, that was a lot. That, like, actually hurt. Like, a lot. Like, ridiculous. Jeez. Jesus Christ. Hey, yo, what? Uh-oh. Yo, Byleth, seem to be running out of a lot of health there. And stats increase? Alright, so whenever you level up, you have a chance for your stats to increase. And each character does have certain percentage rates, but they're also affected by classes. So, I will not be putting up every single one. But if I want to put up for Byleth, I may put them, like, say, right here. And they'll be for different characters, but we'll show that off when we get to, like, later on in chapters. Uh-oh. Ooh! Okay, we're playing with fire. We are playing with fire. Hey, Gerald, let's go. Hey, you took my kill, Gerald. I need the XP. But yeah, you can look at Violet. Violet has like no health right here. So what we're going to do is that we are going to attack with Curve Shot, and we could go after Costas, which we're actually going to do because we need to be safe. We need to live. I need to live.
I'm gonna kill you where you stand.
You say that, but ooh, that looked like. Did he heal 3? Oh no. That was Claude who healed 3.
Careful now.
Yeah, when you get to a certain amount of health thresh points, your characters will say, "Hey, don't be stupid." Essentially. So what we're going to do is we're going to take Edelgard, have her attack this bandit, take it out, and gain some experience for her. And we're going to go with the combat art and go with Wrath Strike. And we have guaranteed 100%. But you also need to make sure your enemies don't have some stupid skills to make sure they'll live. I.e., make sure your opponent doesn't have advantage. That has killed me a number of times, trust me. But we're going to go for the Wrath Strike, and we're going to take out Costas, and... Woo! And with another level up, we reach level 3. And our stats increase dramatically.
We must all do our part.
Yep, we must all do our part. And for defeating Costas, we get an Iron Axe. Oh yeah! You're an idiot for turning your back on the enemy there. Really dumb, Violet.
Seriously, what are you accomplishing with that little stunt? It's like you're trying to get me killed, you fool. Well, it's fine. After all, if you don't know the value of your own life, you're not going to protect it very well, are you? Course not. Well then, I guess it's up to me to guide you from now on, right? You can call me Sothis, but I'm also known as the Beginning.
Okay, the beginning. What? Excuse me. Hello? You there?
Sothis. Yes, that is it. My name is Sothis.
You don't know your own name?
And I am also called the Beginning. But who once called me that?
What are you talking about would be the most realistic response. Like, what are you talking about? But being quote-unquote polite, it's just, your name is Sophis?
I was not able to recall my name until just now. And just like that, it came to me. How odd. That look upon your face. Did you think me a child? A mere child who forgot her own name?
Yes!
Phooey! That child just saved your life. And what does that make you?
Human? So, you could say the option as I am no child, but if you say I'm less than a child, it's actually kind of funny because she gives that response. So let's go with that one.
Correct. You understand. You threw yourself before an axe to save just one young girl. Yet all is well, as I have stalled the flow of time for now. You would have died had I not intervened.
And the more reasonable question is, you stop time, but coming, like, your first response, wait, I would have died? Well, thank you. Like, for real?
There now. Is gratitude so much to ask? I did deem you worth saving after all. Though it is only momentary, time has stopped. However did I manage that?
Am I gonna die when time resumes? Hopefully not.
When time begins again, the axe will tear into your flesh and you will surely meet your end. How rude of you to drag me into this. Now what to do?
Well, yeah. The smart answer, well, if you could stop time, theoretically, can't you rewind it? Keep time frozen until I'm safe, but that doesn't make sense because it says time is frozen until, and when you resume, it's going to turn into your flesh and die. And just stay here and wait to die. It's like, that's just I'll just stay here and wait to die. But theoretically, the most common answer would be just turn back this hands of time.
Of course. I must turn back the hands of time. Yes.
Nani?
I do believe it can be done. You really are quite troublesome. I cannot wind back time too far, but all is well. You are aware of what's to come, which means you can protect yourself this time.
Violet will remember
Now
this.
go. Yes, you who bears the flames within. Drift through the flow of time to find the answers that you seek.
Yeah, we gotta drift back to what?
Hey, over here! Huh?
Hey, did you just...
The Knights of Seros are here. We'll cut you down for terrorizing our students.
Too late.
The thieves are running away. Go after them. The students seem to be unharmed. And who's this?
Why him?
Our skirmish at dawn is done, and for our MVP we have Byleth. Make note of the MVP status, that will come in handy later. And with that, everyone, that is Prologue 1. That's the prologue of this is done. With that, everyone, that'll be the end of the video. My name is Mega Zero, and I will catch you all later.